Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is a presentation within the Increasing Awareness of Predatory Academic Practices course. Today, I'll take you through fair and responsible promotion practices and regulations. It's becoming very clear that some universities employ unfair promotion procedures. And even if the university employs a fair promotion procedure, sometimes you will find the committee is unaware of how to do it or unaware of predatory activities that go within, say, for example, you have predatory publishers, you've got predatory papers, and those should not be among the papers that you are getting evaluated for. But because the committee doesn't understand or are not aware enough about predatory activities, sometimes some things like that just slip through their hands. We've got a comment from Dr. Paul Burra. He wrote it in an article. He belongs to University of York, and he has a lot of problems during his promotion process. He said that it is increasingly becoming clear that some universities employ unfair promotions procedures. And yeah, so let's go through this and try to have a look at our Sudanese context. What should a promotion process looks like? A promotion process should be very clear, fair, equitable, and transparent. This is a good thing for both the candidate and the promotion committee. So let's go through this. The fair promotion procedure requirements are: Number one, there should be a written, transparent, accessible, and detailed criteria to promote candidates in every single institution. And the candidates should be aware of these criteria. The candidate's record should be evaluated only in terms of the criteria for promotion stated to them. The evaluation should be based on the most fully informed opinion obtainable. The unsuccessful candidates should be given clear, specific written reasons why their records were judged to have failed to satisfy the criterion for promotion. And when unsuccessful candidates reapply, there should be consistency in the way their records are evaluated on the different occasions. And when I say these five requirements, it just comes to my mind a lot of stories about promotion in the universities, in Sudanese universities. One of them is a personal one. I've applied for promotion. Unfortunately, we don't have a written, clear, transparent document, but you go there, you ask, how can I get promoted? And then you were told, okay, you submit this number of papers and do this and that we have these types of promotion. So you apply, and then no response. Nobody comes back to you to tell you whether you failed the process or not, or you succeeded or whatever. Nothing is there. So this is unfair because you've spent a lot of time filling the forms. As belonging to the academia, peer review is fundamental to your academic life. And we do accept it as long as it is independent and is done by experts. So without these criteria or characteristics, it may be ill-informed and therefore arbitrary. So what does predatory activities has to do with promotion, or how does a predatory activity affects your promotion process or your CV? One of the most important characteristics of a predatory activity, if we're talking about publishing a paper in a predatory journal, for example, they deny peer review process. And by denying the peer review process, the quality of your paper is actually not what you're thinking of. They are not doing the right thing concerning your publication. The other thing that happens by predatory activities, and that has to do with your promotion, is actually when a company or an email is sent to your inbox saying that, well, you've done a great thing or great job publishing this thesis, or we're interested in this title you've already produced through a thesis, say for example an MSc or a PhD thesis, and that this is a great job, this is a great piece of research, and we want to transform it from a thesis into a book. There is this very famous company that is actually chasing Sudanese people, which is called Lambert, and they have different facets, different mirroring facets. So they access, they get your email from somewhere, and they're working 24/7, searching for people like us from the developing world. And they assume that we are so naive, we will just give them our product, intellectual output, to publish it as a book. They will tell you, okay, this piece of work is great, we want to publish it as a book. You will say, okay, you're fascinated by that. And then they send you several covers to choose one of them. And when you choose it, you give them all the rights. Normally, you give them all your copyrights, and they will just add that cover to your thesis, even though the thesis might have lots of grammatical mistakes, or even worse, problematic findings, or problems within the design of the study, or within the results obtained, or within the data, or whatever. They take it as it is, using even the format that your university uses to produce a thesis. They just add a cover to that piece of work, and with their name as the publishers, with your name as the author of the book. No editing, no peer reviewing, no nothing at all. And they put it on Amazon for sale. So what happens to you when you do that? You've already gave them the copyrights. You don't have any rights anymore on your piece of work. This piece of work have your name with all of its mistakes online. If you add it to your CV, then your CV was nothing. You've just trashed your CV, and that's a big problem. You've worsened the rank of your institution, because the majority of you, say for example, feels like, okay, this is a great job. You published the book from your thesis, I will do the same. So what happens when this type of culture spreads within your university or within the institution, it lowers the rank of the institution. You've already trashed your CV, and now you're trashing the institution as well. I'm saying it in a very harsh words, but please avoid companies such as Lambert. And there are lots of them out there searching for people like you. They pay nothing for this research. You've paid your own pocket money to do this research, or you got a fund to do this research, and then you're just giving them everything for free, and they will sell it and get the money back again. They are just using you. You're just being used or played with by these types of companies. Another problem is the predatory conferences, and these are just like replicas. You've got the same name for different types of conferences going all over throughout the year. They have lots of activities in different cities. You have to pay this money, you have to get that certificate or something, you attend this conference, and that's it. For them, this is business. For you, you're just wasting time and money, and that's really sad. So what are my recommendations for the promotion committees? First of all, you need to have a clearly written and detailed, transparent promotion regulations. And this is helpful for both of you, for the candidates to recognize when they can apply, and for the committee members as guidelines as well. In addition to this, the committee members should train themselves on how to differentiate between scholarly and predatory activities. And this is very important to thoroughly promote a candidate. And please find in the next slides some guidelines to differentiate between scholarly and predatory activities, recognizing that predatory activities is getting more complex and more sophisticated, so you need to keep updated. When a candidate provides you with papers, publications for promotion, you need to check the principles of transparency as a first requirement of scholarly publishing. The third thing is the journal. Does it have a professional website? Is there a URL with an HTTPS? Sometimes it will be at HTTP, but the SSL license clarifies for you that it's a secure domain that you can go in and it's not a hacker site or something like that. Number two, they should have a central website and with other, sub websites maybe for other activities. They have to have consistent language, and this is very crucial to detect. The spelling, are there spelling mistakes? Are there grammatical mistakes in the website itself or this website? Because if it's a scholarly journal, then they will be very they will it will be very important for them to have a clear clean website. But if it's a predatory one, then there should be lots and lots of mistakes. And the hyperlinks, what type of hyperlinks does it have in it? The second thing that you need to have a look at is, does it mimic other journals names or websites? For example, does it contain misleading information, something like that, because this is important. Another important aspect that you need to check for is whether the journal has a written aim and scope. This is very important. In addition to that, whether they have a statement on what a journal will consider for publication, including authorship criteria as well. So, for example, not considering multiple submissions, redundant publications, things like that. The other thing that you need to make sure of is the ISSN numbers. There should be very clearly displayed ISSN numbers, and the print ISSN should be separated from the electronic ISSN number. After looking at the criteria for transparency, you need to check the journal name, as I said previously, that the journal should have a unique name, distinct, descriptive, consistent. It should be clearly distinguished, not to be confused with another journal. It must not mislead potential users, authors, or readers about the journal's origin or association with other journals. And you should be very careful about journals with the International Journal of or things like that. These are normally they should send a light in your head. Important characteristic is the process of peer review. The journal content must be clearly marked as whether they are peer reviewed or not, and the peer review process itself, the policy and everything that has to do with peer review process should be clearly described on the journal website, including the method of peer review. In addition to that, the peer review must at least be conducted by 2 independent reviewers. Every single journal must have an editorial board or a governing body, and the members of these boards must be recognized experts in the subject areas included within the journal's scope. And I will take you through an example of an invitation that has arrived at my colleague's email address or inbox. It says that we invite you to submit to this journal. The journal is has to do with the medical field. It has to do with medicine and pharmacy and biomedical research. So my colleague sent me the email saying, okay, can you check this for me, please? And I checked it. And when I looked at the editorial board, every single board member has nothing to do with medicine or pharmacology or biomedical research. They were belonging to humanities, and some of them were doing ecological research. So when you look at the editorial board, you can have a sense of what's going on in that, and you can then decide whether to submit or not, or whether to promote the candidate or not, because this paper is not a scholarly one. It belongs to a predatory sector of publishing. It's important to have the full names, the affiliations of the editorial board available on the website. This is really important. This is one of the checklists that you have to look at when you're evaluating a candidate's promotion requirements. Finally, I will just summarize all of this by saying there is a need for a strict code of practice, and to raise the awareness of the institutions, the promotion committees, the candidates to follow in promotions procedures to avoid promotion based on predatory activities, because it has a very negative outcome and effect on your CV as a candidate, on the rank of the institution, and the name of the institution itself. And by this, I'll say thank you for listening to this presentation, and I will see you in the other ones.